I will fight for you with every breath in my body, and I will never, ever let you down. We don't need anybody. We're the strongest nation in the world. When we own it, we defend it, and we'll have to defend Greenland. The golden age of America begins right now. America's decline is over. You can talk whatever the hell you want. I'm here for you. Your country is in big trouble. You're not winning. You're not winning this. Stupid president. You didn't have our military equipment. This war would have been over in 2 weeks. Who knows better about surprise than Japan? Why didn't you tell me about Pearl Harbor? Did I get a Nobel Prize? No.
Every president inherits the world. Most try to manage it. One decided to renegotiate it from scratch on his terms at volume. This is what happens when the most powerful office in the world stops thinking in alliances and starts thinking in deals. Foreign policy has always operated on a kind of trust. Not blind trust, not the trust between friends, but the narrow transactional trust between powers who need to know where the lines are. It depends on one thing more than any other: consistency. The belief that what was said on Monday will still be true by Friday.
We don't need anybody. We're the strongest nation in the world. Strongest nation in the world. We want strong allies, not seriously weakened ones. Strong allies, not seriously.
In the old world, a contradiction like that would have triggered a press conference, a clarification, a walk back. In this one, it barely made the scroll. Welcome to an era where American foreign policy doesn't send signals anymore. It sends weather. The first sign that something structural had shifted wasn't a policy paper or a NATO communique. It was a line about real estate.
I love Europe, and I want to see Europe go good, but it's not heading in the right direction. And that's the reason I'm seeking immediate negotiations to once again discuss the acquisition of Greenland by the United States.
Acquire, not ally with, not defend. Acquire. As if 56,000 Greenlanders were an underperforming asset class that needed new management.
Countries have to have ownership, and you defend ownership, you don't defend leases. And we'll have to defend Greenland. When we own it, we defend it. You don't defend leases the same way. You have to own it.
To understand why this language matters, you need to understand what it replaces. For 80 years, American power in the Arctic was expressed through basing rights, intelligence sharing, and the quiet geometry of NATO's Article 5. It didn't require ownership because ownership wasn't the point. Influence was the point. The ability to shape what happened in a place without putting your name on the deed. What Trump articulated at Davos wasn't just a policy preference. It was a different theory of power entirely. One borrowed not from Kennan or Kissinger, but from a closing argument in a Manhattan boardroom. If you can't control it, buy it. If you can't buy it, pressure the seller until they blink.
No nation or group of nations is in any position to be able to secure Greenland other than the United States. Great power, much greater than people even.
That sentence, influence is weak, is worth pausing on. Because influence is how alliances work. It's the architecture underneath NATO, behind the IMF, inside every bilateral security agreement the United States has signed since 1945. It is, in the truest sense, the American method. What replaces persuasion in this logic is possession. You don't build an alliance with Greenland. You own Greenland. The difference isn't just semantic, it's civilizational. But here's where the story gets stranger and more personal. Because buried inside this geopolitical shift is something that almost defies strategic analysis. A grievance.
I stopped 8 wars in 8 months. Did I get a Nobel Prize? No. Can you believe it? Even I said, yeah, that's an impossible one. But it's all right. I suspect, I think next year will be better, but I don't think. You know what I care about? I save maybe hundreds of millions of lives.
In early 2026, Trump sent what became known as the Dear Jonas letter, addressed to Norway's prime minister. And it read less like a diplomatic communique than a breakup text from a man who'd just been passed over for Employee of the Month. What makes this extraordinary is not the pettiness that by 2026 had become contextually normal. What makes it extraordinary is what comes next. A sitting American president openly linking the withdrawal of his peace instincts to a Norwegian prize committee's decision. Greenland is Norway's neighbor. The Nobel is Norway's prize. You start to wonder whether the geography was always the point or whether the geography just happened to be nearby when the letter got written.
If you're not going to pay your bills, we're not going to defend you. I've said that to them. I said, if you're not going to pay, we're not going to defend. I said that 7 years ago.
The philosophical undergirding of NATO, collective security as a shared moral commitment, was always a polite fiction layered over hard power realities. Everyone knew that. What no one expected was for the fiction to be canceled mid-season without a replacement.
We're going to bring it from 25% to 50%, the tariffs on steel into the United States of America.
The move was surgical in its messaging. Pay your dues or we impose tariffs. Grant us the island or we bankrupt your car industry. It wasn't a threat in the traditional diplomatic sense. It was a pricing model. The problem with that model, and the reason it worried strategists far more than any single policy, is that it doesn't just change what America does. It changes what allies believe America will do. And in deterrence, perception is the entire game. And then there are the moments that don't fit any framework at all. Moments that suggest the wiring itself has been rewired.
Who knows better about surprise than Japan? Okay? Why didn't you tell me about Pearl Harbor? Okay? Right? You know.
Japan is, by any reasonable measure, one of America's most strategically vital Pacific allies. The country hosts tens of thousands of American troops. It has reoriented its entire defense posture for the first time since 1945 to align with American security interests in the Pacific. And Sani Takechi, sitting across from the American president in 2026, was born 31 years after the horrific bombing of Nagasaki and Hiroshima. If you're sitting in Seoul or Canberra or Warsaw right now, you are filing that moment somewhere. You are asking yourself, what's our Pearl Harbor? What makes all of this particularly difficult to decode and particularly dangerous to ignore is the speed of the reversals. These are not policy evolutions. They're not tactical repositioning or the kind of deliberate ambiguity that strategists call constructive uncertainty. They are contradictions arriving faster than the world can recalibrate to them.
People thought I would use force. I don't have to use force. I don't want to use force. I won't use force. We need it for strategic national security and international security.
The reversal, when it came, was clean, almost reassuring. No force, a framework. Fine.
We need it for...
When we own it, we defend it. We need that.
Foreign policy depends on the belief that what is said today will hold tomorrow. Not perfectly, not forever, but well enough to plan around. When that belief erodes, the vacuum doesn't stay empty. It fills, quietly, without announcement, with whatever each country has decided is now necessary to protect itself in a world where the loudest signal is also the least reliable one.